This conference will now be recorded.
Good morning, good afternoon. Good morning and good evening over in your regions. Thanks for joining this demo session. Basically, this is all about we're talking about for the full stack observability with one of the industry standard leading tool, which is AppDynamics. Before that, let's get me introduce myself. This is Daya Sagar. Um, this is Daya Sagar. I'm coming with 16 years of experience and having 7 years of relevant experience in the observability area using AppDynamics, and I look after end-to-end implementation in terms of setting up the solution and instrumentation, and also extracting the metrics, logs, and traces using the OpenTelemetry. This is all about this. Uh, basically, the main objective about the full stack observability in AppDynamics is that so here we are going to thoroughly understand like what is the difference between the monitoring and observability, and how AppDynamics is becoming a top leading tool in order to gain insights on the observability from the key pillars like the metrics, traces, and logs. Then how it helps, in order to plot the graphs, and how it immediately helps in order to resolve the issues in order to achieve the quick MTTR and MTDD, so that you will save the time for the future coming instant issues. And also we also discuss about the agentless monitoring and agent based monitoring, and also like how the main aspects of the application in terms of application visibility in terms of the network visibility, and also infrastructure visibility, the security, the database, the and also like the Kubernetes. So all those visibilities, and also in terms of the aspects of the main application monitoring, so which it will help by implementing the observability. Uh, so basically, like as we know right now, the overall the full stack visibility. Okay, so it's coming up with a becoming like a more complex in terms of the digital experience monitoring. Because so the deployment models are becoming the complex here, because the easy of deployment and management is like not easy nowadays, because because the applications is appear to be have their own deploying on a multi-cloud environment, or some applications kind of deployed in AWS, and some kind of applications are deployed in a Google Cloud. And also if you look at a complete the application full stack, okay, so the some portion will be available in a public cloud, and due to the security constraints, the key portions of the application might be available in the private cloud, so which the main data is hosting at the customer side. And at the same time, like if there are any downstream systems where in order to save the data at the back end, so that could be either the mainframes, or maybe the ELT systems, and also like there may be a communication happening from the IoT devices, or maybe there is some deployments which are kind of like an on-premise. So to have this, the monitoring of different aspects, I would say like instead of aspects, I would say like the domains, where it's split across the 5 to 6 domains, like the business, the user experience, the application, infrastructure, network, and the security. So what happens is suppose if you don't have any full stack observability tool in the tool in order to measure different domains, right? So what happens is like the people will have their own the tools, which is something like a siloed monitoring, and that's where like the blame game starts. That if there is any issue occur during the troubleshooting of the application covering up end-to-end visibility, So we say that we could see that there is a deviation, in the infrastructure side where the CPU might have got spiked up because of not having like an end-to-end visibility. Let us assume that we are using a solar winds in order to measure the infrastructure and application monitoring. We are using some Prometheus or maybe some EL whatever it is. So what happens when you have this siloed monitoring? It would be like you'll not get a complete and end-to-end visibility, and more of it's like a blame game happens one on each other. So to overcome that one, what happened is that this AppDynamics is coming up to monitor the end-to-end visibility, covering up all these six domains. So by having this Cisco AppDynamics plus Secure Apps plus the Thousand Eyes and plus IWO Internet Work Optimization. So once you have this, the Cisco AppDynamics tool in place, so it is very easy to in order to like connect the dots in the digital complex digital world. Then it is easy to like show up in a single pane of glass, so that it is easy to measure and identify and easily dig into the issue, and so that we can provide the root cause analysis in order to improve the quick MTTR and MTTI. Okay. So having said that, so how basically how this helps in terms of the connecting the different domains of the overall complex digital end user experience ecosystem. So if you look at this one, so based on the different aspects of the application in a complex world. So AppDynamics is coming up the relevant, the features with pertain to the aspects. Suppose if you're having like a real user monitoring, where like the application is like talking on the mobile and the web, with a different, the different types of devices, and there are also different types of the models. And of course there is the application is like having up opening up with the different versions, maybe the new versions of old versions, and there is also like the iOS and Android models are there. So in order to like measure the performance in terms of the crash rates, in terms of the mobile snapshots, where it's going to give us what happened over a period of time when you're accessing a particular mobile over a particular carrier or over a particular device. Maybe you're opening up a particular, the browser on the mobile and try to measure that. And also like over a period of time, if you're performing some activity and due to the low bandwidth, or maybe due to the high volume of accessing that application, you might see some crashes. So then definitely you have to have some tool which is able to measure the crash rate, crash free users and the crash users. And also there might be a the thing which you need to measure, the key user action. And also next is about that geographical location performance, and how this availability and the latency across the globe and across the multiple devices. So you in order to like measure these different aspects of the digital end user monitoring, the other way we call it as the real user monitoring in terms of the web and mobile. Yes, Dynatrace, yes, the AppDynamics is like available, providing a feature called end user experience, where it gives you all the insights. And also there will be a situation where you wanted to understand like the code, how the code is being like the built. Suppose if you are using like a spring boot application, so where the microservices have been built, and also they are like loosely coupled, and they're independent of each other, and they are having like a unit, they're having like the dependency of getting some some key values or some data from other microservices. And in that case, like while making communication from the other microservices, you might have seen that there is some internal server exceptions, or maybe some other HTTPX or 4xx, the servers have been reported into AppDynamics. And you just wanted to see like which method and class has been like impacted in order to provide those insights. Okay, so those sort of insights like which you could get from the code level visibility, so which is like highly available, highly scalable, and whatever the number of pods you are having, so it is highly scalable, and they get those code level insights under the transaction snapshots, so which will be available in a chronological view. So that's going to help us in order to take an immediate action to proceed further, so that we can avoid the forthcoming issues. So that is another the capability which provided by AppDynamics, being a application deployed in a complex digital world. And also the other one is like the microservices availability. As we know, like nowadays, the most of the applications are built on the microservices, which are nothing but a completely opposite to the monolithic architecture. So where if you talk about the monolithic, if in earlier days, suppose if you wanted to make any changes, or if you wanted to add like one label on the page, or maybe if you wanted to add one button on the page, so you have to have like bring down the entire service. Then you need to send out a notification, or you have to do the deployment over the weekends. Then you have to like add that feature to the application, so then you need to do like rolling restart, ensure that the application wherever it is going talking to the particular pages, ensure like that application is working fine. But after coming this microservices architecture, right, so there is no dependency of the application need to be bring down. So whatever the service you're trying to add a new feature to that one, or maybe new button or new label to that one, so being because of having like a replication controller mechanism in a Kubernetes or OpenShift. So what happens is like, so once you add that feature to the microservices, okay, so once you just spin up those microservices as a part of a canary deployment, so that it will slowly like scale up the microservices, and it will start like serving the request. So as soon as like all the new services or the new parts are start coming up, and then what happens is like the old existing microservices are there, so those will be kind of like a destroyed. Okay, so all those details like how the microservices have been like spinned up, and what are the old microservices and what are the current microservices, how about their configuration, so what it is running inside the containers, and what are the different types of the technology stack which have been used into the microservices. So all those sorts of insights like which we can get it into the app dynamics. So that is another the capability of that one. Then next, coming to the infrastructure visibility, so this is the very important one, like whether the customer like he doesn't want to adopt the entire APM solution, but at least he wanted to have some sort of awareness that how my servers are behaving over a period of time. So during like Cyber Monday, or maybe during the Christmas season, or maybe during the Thanksgiving Day or Black Friday. So you just wanted to see like the performance of the overall servers in terms of the resources like the CPU, memory, the disk, and the network traffic. Okay, so if you wanted to build a certain charts for these different aspects of the infrastructure, yeah, yes, AppDynamics is like ready to support. So basically it is coming with two different licensing models. One is like infrastructure licensing based, and another one is the agent based licensing. So by choosing any one of these licensing model, so the AppDynamics is ready to provide you insights at the JVM level also, and also for the uh, for the rack based servers, which are like a physical servers available in one of the data center. So you need to go and install the infrastructure agent on these servers, so that you can go ahead and get into that. And also, like, you're having a microservices, you don't want to monitor the application part of the microservices. You just want to monitor only the infrastructure effort because of the licensing consumption. Yeah, yes, that part, so yes, that is also available. You need to go for the microservices package bundle, and in that one, you can just enable the infrastructure while deploying an agent, so that it will just go ahead and get those insights. So what I mean to say is that, whatever the aspect from the infrastructure point of view or any parameter, you just pull it up. Yes, AppDynamics is ready to give you those details. And coming to the data visibility, because this database is like very very important, in the microservices and the monolithic architecture. So where this plays the major role in order to fetch the details, or in order to, the insert, or in order to delete, or any operations which you are performing, on the top of the application server from the front end perspective. So this gonna give us the app dynamics, gonna give us details about the query response times, and what are the clients, in terms of like calling the particular queries, and how it has been uh, proactively working with the existing the JDBC connections, in order to give you the details about the long running queries, what are the slow running queries, how many deadlocks it happened, and how many like tables, in terms of the table space, and how many stored procedures are there. And also, like, what sort of the database in terms of the hardware metrics, like CPU, memory, network, and disk volume. Okay, so all those details, like, which you're gonna get it from the database visibility. And also, like, there might be a situation like where the leadership wanted to, the focus only on the certain area of the business aspects, in terms of like, hey Sagar, so there is a cyber mondays coming up. Okay, you just gotta help me to build a dashboard that pulls up, the details around how many users are logged in, and what is the conversion rate for the placed orders, and how many orders are placed, and how many orders are cancelled, and what are the list of the returning users, and what is the list of the guest users. Okay, so if the customer wanted to have such sort of insights on that, okay, so the app dynamics is like ready to provide, the reports and the dashboards. And also there is another feature called like the analytics feature, where it provides the business experience graph. So in the business experience graph, you're gonna, whatever the aspects I just mentioned from the business insight standpoint of view. So all those insights, like, which the app dynamics is able to provide. Okay, so once you have identified the aspects of the application, okay, you're just gonna deploy an agents on that. So then what happens is like, so as the moment you have that agents deployment, and you got a, the visibility, uh, uh, visibility of the application, covering up the various domains. So then what app dynamics will go ahead and correlate all aspects of the application, based on the areas which you identified during the visibility. So then what happens? It will convert that into a flow maps, which is nothing but a overall application topology. It gives you like a quick view of what are the upstream systems, and what are the backend systems, and what is the downstream system, and if there are any third party services are there. So how they are making a communication to that one. So everything can be displayed in a, the topological view, which it exactly replicates to the our application architecture. So which we will get it by from the architects, by sitting and getting understand of the application. So you'll get an insights. Most of the like the net most of the application layers, you'll get a, you'll get an if you'll get the insights at the core service layer, you will get insights on the istio layer. Suppose if you're using a service mesh, and also you'll get an insights at backend services. You'll get insights from the third party systems, and also you'll get a insights on the infrastructure level and the business metrics. So whatever the aspects like you willing to show it up in AppDynamics. Yes, the application topology is able to capable enough to show all those details in the color coded format. So the color coded format like highlights whether the current status of the application and other aspects. Suppose if it is green, it is nothing but a normal, and if it is yellow, is nothing but it is going to be I mean, right now it is a warning status. So based on certain thresholds or the baselining values which you set it up based on the overall application traffic what you have measured, and it is red is nothing but you need an immediate action. So considering that once it correlates, all the aspects of the application from the different domains. So now, if you look at the towards right, okay, so you then you have to perform certain actions. Okay, what you need to take certain actions like go or no go, so that you need to handle the multiple events. Let it be automated events or the custom events which have been generated after correlating the different aspects of the application. So how it can achieve is that you have like a business and technical metrics, so which is nothing but a business BizIQ. So that helps in order to open up the analytics view and try to see like what transactions got impacted and what end users pertain to particular transactions got impacted, and what are the number of users is failing, what is the ratio of the returning users, and the other one is that the guest users. And you can also get like an application IQ where it is having another feature calling up the call graph and the transaction snapshots. So these two features will help in order to plot the end-to-end distributed tracing, so which will be displayed in the form of a chronological view, where you can easily measure like what is the main service and what is the calling service, what is the call service, and what is a call made to the third party service, and what are the remote services. All those insights like which you can get it into the distributed tracing in a chronological view, that will take you to the code level visibility, where you can easily understand and easily can find it out which class and method have been got impacted, so that you can just work on the next steps. So that's where this root cause analysis and anomaly detection helps. And you can also like correlate correlate and compare the previous and the current timestamps, or maybe various timestamp it is there, so that you can see how the application is performed from then and now. So then you can take on a next action. So that's the second aspect of the actions area. So once you have like there is some alarm find out in AppDynamics. Now you wanted to act on it. Okay, whether you wanted to like get the things resolved over the email, or you wanted to get the things resolved over the phone, or maybe or from pager, or maybe you wanted to like raise an incident, so that there will be a postmortem will be taken care post the incident is being processed. Okay, so whatever the like aspect if you wanted to implement it as part of an actions. Yes, Dynatrace, AppDynamics, and the Cisco is able to provide an integration with the third party for incident management and alerting. You can integrate AppDynamics with ServiceNow, or you can integrate with GLPI, which is an open source ITSM tool, which is similar to the ServiceNow. So where based on the event which has been generated from the AppDynamics, it will go and create an incident in ServiceNow. From there, there will be like an escalation matrix is available, so that whoever is on call, the call will be buzz on his phone, accordingly, within the 5 minutes, he has to acknowledge the call, and then by seeing the incident, then he will decide like whether it is whether it is a critical or it is a non-critical. So after discussing with an ITSM tool, so then he will raise no then he will create a war room, and they will try to gather all the people pertain to that application, and then then there will be having certain SLAs to be followed for P1, P2, P3, 4. So based on that, if it is a P1, so within 2 hours, you need to identify the cause. Uh, you need to like find out the root cause and try to fix. Then you need to do the rollout agents. Then you to ensure like the problem has been resolved, and it will be converted as a KDB document, so that if it is a reoccurring issue, so that can be resolved in future. So this is this is like the beauty of AppDynamics, where it is able to provide you like end-to-end visibility by covering up the full stack visibility of the application. I'll just take a pause. You guys have any questions? Okay, sure. So before if deploying any solution like application performance management, or we can call it as application performance monitoring. So before getting into this application architecture overview, right? So first of all, we have to understand like what exactly the monitoring and observability, because right now we are seeing that this observability is like playing is just is just overcoming monitoring, and in every organization and every the practice inside the organization, they are adopting this observability. So basically, the monitoring is nothing but it's just a wrapper sitting on top of an entire application architecture, and it will say like what's happening over a period of time. So it just give you those insights. But when it comes in observability, right? So how you are going to fetch the details, in order to ensure like the availability and reliability meeting like your SLO standards. So how the metrics are, the processing the data, and how the logs are like processing the data, and how the traces are like processing the data, and from which endpoint so these data is coming up. Okay, so all those different areas like which we can easily I mean to say, it's not an easily, so you need to put a lot of effort in that one to done some lot of assessment by understanding the current application architecture, and see like where the gaps are found in observability in terms of metrics, logs, and traces. These four pillars, how the application is acting on top of these things. So then you need to prepare an assessment and work with the application team, and try to establish a practice so that you'll ensure like the SRE is run. SRE is like perfect. SRE like ensures to run with reliability and availability with 100%. So having said that, first of all, like before deploying any APM solution, you need to get a thorough understanding of an application architecture overview. Okay, so how the front end is built, nothing but what is the technology stack of the front end application, and how many number of users are accessing the application in terms of the mobile and web application. And you need to come up with some queries which it talks about in terms of the user load, what are the number of returning users and the guest users, and what are the key web vitals. So what are the top five concerns? Okay, so there are like certain aspects of the front end application, so which you need to do some assessment before starting up an actual deployment and our actual renewal of observability to hit the road. To do that one, you need to get a thorough understanding of an application. So once you get a front end application, the technology stack, also you need to understand like how the traffic is being distributed to the downstream systems from the front end, and what are the different types of the load balancers available, and also like is how the web firewalls have been the configured in order to channelize your data before getting into an application. The WAF layer, we call it as a WAF layer. So is it any Akamai or any other third party, the integrations are in place in order to filter your traffic from the anomalies which they might be trying to access that one. Okay, so you need to understand those layer, and also coming to once you have that WAF layer, then you need to understand like the downstream system. What are the microservices? Is it the microservices or the monolithic is there? And if there are microservices, what are the number of microservices? And what are the key major microservices are there? How many servers are there? So you need to having said that, you need to understand from all aspects of your overall the customer ecosystem in terms of the business insights. What is the leadership wants to show the dashboards in terms of the reports and the things pertain to business insights, and how the infrastructure is built, and how the application is like being configured from the front end third party services, and is there any third party integrations to fetch the data, and how the infrastructure is built. And also coming to the security. Okay, so are there any already the security measures have been taken care in terms of the vulnerabilities easily identified before any customer calls out for the what do you call the interfaces which we'll use in Java. Okay, so all those things, you need to understand from the application perspective. So then it is easy for you in order to set up the application. Sorry, in order to set up the APM using an AppDynamics on top of the overall application architecture. So once you get those understandings, idea from the customer, so then you can sit with an AppDynamics product team. So you do some due diligence after having this 3 months assessment. So you just tell that, hey boss, these number of application servers are there. So these X number of microservices are there, and there is a traffic going out that, and we could see like I can see that there are quite a few number of packet drops are there, so which there is no visibility on that because it is going outside of the application architecture. But I wanted to measure those network drops, network packet drops, and also like from the infrastructure point of view, because there we could see like a lot of CPU deviations, and these are like the number of servers right now in the market. Sorry, right now in the customer ecosystem. I wanted to these number of license units, and also coming to the application, I'm using a microservices architecture, but I wanted to enable the real user monitoring and the mobile user monitoring, because the ratio of using this application on the mobile is something like which is having a growth year on year, maybe 5% to 6%. So you once you do the due diligence, and you might have captured the different aspects of the application. So then what you're gonna do is that you try to set it up the app dynamics exactly on the architecture what you captured from the application. So then depending upon that, how many database agents you want, how many application server agents in that one, if it is a microservices, one agent bundles with five microservices and one infrastructure edition. So in that one, based on the calculations what you have done from the microservices point of view, so you will just give the rough estimate of those agents and infrastructure, and also like analytics is there because the business very keen about having business analytics. So in that case, like so you will go either like one or two analytics are there. And also coming to, there are like the public facing URLs and the intranet facing URLs where the customer is like pertain to validate the availability 24 by 7 for the internet URLs and the intranet URLs. And also the customer is like very keen about measuring the end user performance and also you wanted to measure the user sessions and during the peak load and non-peak load. So all those details, like based on that, we will just go ahead and deploy that one. And then also we will the AppDynamics is coming up in the two deployment models. One is like a SaaS based and an on-premise. So SaaS based model is that the controller and everything will be given like is a SaaS model. So just they will create one instance for us, which we call it as a tenant. So depending upon the discussions what we established with the customer, so the customer like wanted to have like 100% visibility of applications into production, but whereas the non-prod, he wanted to have like dev, non-prod, and testing. So these areas he wanted to have like a 25% of the load to be onboarded to the app dynamics. So considering that, we will try to bring down the license unique and license units, and we will quote only for 25% of the licensing units. So based on the discussions like what we have established, so we are going with the SaaS based model. So we will provide like all the four different tenants in that one. One is the production tenant, so which is pointing to all the production servers onto the app dynamics, and there will be dev tenant and the test tenant will be there. So three different app dynamics controllers available, which are the SaaS based model. So everything is like owned by the AppDynamics team. Only we will only be like deploy our applications on AppDynamics SaaS control, and also like all the data as per the security and compliance PII data norms and conditions is concerned. So everything will be encrypted, so that the user data will not be exposed on AppDynamics, or maybe while transferring a raw data from agents to the controller. Everything will be masked, so that no dollar convention, no user ID will be displayed when you fetch those into the dashboarding. So that is about like how this app dynamics will helps in order to help to to stretch the visibility and insights and actions to be completed on for that identified application architecture. So here it talks about this the same thing what I said is here. You can see that it comes with on-premise and SaaS. Okay, so you can also have mobile and web user monitoring. It comes with the database agents and analytics engine. And app agents is coming with the different flavors like JVM, Windows, PHP, Node.js. It also supports the Python and other technology stack also. So it is able to, and also like from the KPIs standard point of, it captures most of the KPIs. So nearly it is able to provide some 20,000 KPIs. So you may not require all 20,000 metrics to be collected and publish it on the dashboard. But they you may need some 100 or 150 key performance indicators, where you need to identify and correlate them to put them onto the dashboard. So having said that, so it's able to supports the major things like response time, throughput, error, business transactions, and the JVM metrics. So when I say JVM metrics, it is able to provide the metrics around the garbage collection. So what are the minor GC, major GC, and also like what is the heap and non-heap, and how the CPU is performing, and how frequently the major GC is running on it. And based on the observations and the deviations which you identified during the from the recent test you done in the production. So you will just go ahead and understand the garbage collection, minor GC and major GC, and you try to tweak that in application. And you can also tweak that into the agent where you deployed this one. So then once you restart those agents, so then you can see like some optimization is up, optimization has been done something, and you'll see like a better view of an app dynamics. Okay, so all those sort of exercises in order to troubleshoot, which we can see it from the app dynamics. And also, as I said that machine agents help in to fetch the resource level metrics. And another one is that because of it is having a bytecode instrumentation technology. So what happens is that it will just capture those data, and then automatically it will convert them into the readable format of either in the metrics, the star charts, logs, or whatever we call it as okay formats. Okay, those things will be displayed here. And also the other part is that the communication, this is not like a bidirectional communication. This is always like a one way direction, and no piggy banking happened between the controller and agent. So it's agent responsibility to ensure like the data is like exposing every 1 minute or maybe 50 seconds to the AppDynamics controller, so that the moment the AppD get a raw data, it will just go ahead and the backend, it will convert that into a readable format, and then it will present it onto the browser. So, okay, boss, you just tell about all this story from the different aspects. So, what are the advantages I'm going to get? Okay, so it is a cloud readiness, and it is easily deploy and manageable. So it is able to it is able to measure the performance and the latency uh, for the applications sitting on hybrid and cross cloud. When I say cross cloud, is nothing but it is a multi cloud. Okay, so because of the cost, what the customer is nowadays doing is that the major services, the serverless architecture, where only the functions will run whenever it is required a server to be spinned up. Okay, so what he might have done is that for the serverless architecture implementation, she might have used either Azure, because the cost will be very less compared to other Google Cloud and AWS. And also the infrastructure and the main databases and everything are available on the Google Cloud, because of the cost is like bit moderate compared to the AWS. Okay, so if you have like application model deployed across the cross cloud, yes, AppDynamics is able to get those details. And the cloud migration. So basically, like what happens is like this cloud migration is something that suppose you are having your application is deployed in on premise, and now because the growth rate is becoming more day by day, and the customer wanted to the migrate the entire on-premise to the cloud. He wanted to go ahead with the lift and shift model. So having said that, AppDynamics is having another feature called IWO, Internet workload optimization. So what happens is that you will go ahead for a free trial model, and you try to run those dashboards in terms of the infrastructure and an application by configurations what you have in terms of the EC2 instances. Okay, so once you deploy that IWO agents on those particular servers, okay, so then what it will run through the dashboards and the report. There it will give you like what is correct and what is wrong. So based on that, you try to optimize your different aspects of the application. Then you will easily like migrate the application to the cloud. Okay, so that's sort of like advice which will be given by AppDynamics from the cloud migration point of view. And also AppDynamics is able to provide you the cloud insights pertain to IaaS and cloud native workloads. The Kubernetes, suppose if I take an example of the Kubernetes, in the Kubernetes, you might be having a multiple workloads on top of and also inside that you'll be having the namespaces, pods, containers, clusters, worker node, master node. Okay, so these are the different aspects of the cloud native. Yes, AppDynamics is able to give those details in a single pane of glass, so that it is very easy for you to go ahead and take a decision on that. What exactly went wrong on that. And the serverless, as I said, that the serverless is basically like because you are using a complex architecture where you have to call this what do you call this, Kubernetes native. Okay, what exactly it does is that when there is any issue occur, okay, a disk volume is going up, it is crossing beyond 90%. Then what you will do, you will try to write a Kubernetes native technology. Using that, you will try to a shell programming. So then whenever you find this behavior, what you're gonna do is like you try to call that cloud service, yeah, using that serverless, so that it doesn't require any dedicated server available. You can just call that up, and then it will perform that series of actions which is written as a shell script. So then once it is cleared and confirmed that everything is fine, so then it will stop do that. So if you wanted to do that dynamic loading of the services, so which the AppDynamics is also like able to measure those insights. And also the container workloads. So what I said is the Kubernetes, where you can get the containers inside the containers. Okay, it will give you like the container ID, and what is the library it has been used, and what is the version. So those level of insights also which you'll be getting into it. and and the last but one is like the SAP. Nowadays, like AppDynamics is becoming a leading partner with SAP from the last 7 years, and it is able to get the application level from the SAP to show the insights into the dashboards and try to see what are the different areas of the SAP got impacted, and how the major processes which is running on SAP, working on it over a period of time. So all those insights like which you can get it from the SAP. So you have to have like an SAP agent running on it on the SAP server, so that you'll get full details. And also the business performance, as I said, that you'll get insights from the business visibility, so that you'll just go ahead and get those details. So having said that, after having this all the different seven the capabilities, the AppDynamics is like going to provide a single pane of glass against all the features. And coming to the incident management and alerting, it uses the dynamic baselining. Okay, so which I was telling about here, because these are like a three additional capabilities. This is a dynamic baselining. So basically, what happens is that this dynamic baselining, it helps in order to avoid the false alarms. So suppose if you have a static alerting, right? What happens? Okay, static alerting is fine during the non-peak hours. Okay, suppose if the users are if you look at the user growth rate from the last year to current year, okay, during the peak hour, so the growth rate has increased from some 10% to 15%. Suppose if you still stick to this static threshold, right? Then what happens over a period of time, like from November to December, you may get lot of alerts, because the threshold is like now it is not there. Because if you are having like only some 20 users, yes, that is fine. But now you got like some five times or three times of the users. Now you got like 40 to 50 users. So having said that, if you're having a 50 users, obviously you have to increase the resources on the servers, or maybe you have to adopt the new servers. Okay, so with that said, that what happens is uh, you have to go for the dynamic baselining, whether if it is a low code environment, or maybe if it is, sorry, if it is a low volume or high volume of users. So you'll still the threshold will work, and it will act accordingly depending upon the thresholds have been reached. So that is about the dynamic baselining. And coming to the cognition engine, so the cognition engine is nothing but these app dynamics. It is having a feature of inbuilt of artificial intelligence and machine learning. So because of having this capability, right? So whatever the data, it is coming from the agents. So when I say agents, agents are deployed on the application servers or the web servers or the microservices. Okay, because they are sending a raw data. Because agents doesn't know anything. Agents duty is that they have to just ingest those data and push it into the controller. Then what controller will do is that it will understand those ones. because it is having some backend servers like for the MySQL database is there. And suppose if you're having a real user, right, it uses the backends. Okay, so what the backends is that the backends will capture those raw data, and it tries to understand, because of having like AIML capability, it will try to convert unreadable format into a readable view, like in terms of the charts or in terms of the logs or in terms of dashboards, resource performance metrics, or whatever the format you name. So those will be converted and displayed into in a beautiful format into the control. So these are like other three capabilities which will help, and it also supports wide support is there, so that whatever the platform you name it, whether it is a infrastructure as a service, which is a platform as a service, or whether it has a software as a service, so or it's a serverless platform, whatever the platform you take it, it will just AppDynamics is like able to provide. Suppose if I am having a SaaS based platform, okay, where the customer is not able to deploy an application. So basically what happens is that the SaaS based platform, the customers, the provider says that Amazon or Google Cloud or Azure says that, hey boss, you just give me certain details, okay, so that I'll go ahead and spin up a separate instance for you. Okay, but I cannot provide you the servers, dedicated servers for you. Okay, I'm having everything, the data and everything will be insecure. Okay, you just need to provide certain details, okay, like URL or maybe whatever other things you wanted to get it. So you will just get those URLs and the multi-line journeys. Okay, we'll just go ahead and deploy those journeys, so that the App Dynamics will able to get insights those things about what is the performance of that particular URL, particular resource, CPU usage, memory usage, what are the like different failure exceptions like 4xx and 5xx, all those occur. So all those insights can easily be the captured from the different providers, and put it into the single view. So this is about this one. Uh, any questions? I'll just quickly the bring you up this app dynamics. Okay. So basically, I'll just take another 5 minutes to wind it up. So basically, this is an SaaS-based model. The moment like you got a instance created, I mean to select tenant, we call it as a tenant. This is a production tenant. So once you got this tenant, right, so this is the way it looks like. It is having a home applications, which will give you like the overall application number of applications available. And coming to this user experience, this will give you about the front end performance of the application, how many browsers got impacted and the databases. It will give you the insights on the databases from the different aspects. And the servers, this is about provide you the infrastructure level insights and the dashboards and reports. Okay, it will provide you the quick view of the dashboards at the executive level, infrastructure level, and the operations level, and the other one is like the full stack observability level. And also coming to the alerts and response. So this talks about like incident management and alerting. So based on the certain events triggered in AppDynamics, immediately it has to send those alerts to the service management, which is called like ServiceNow or GLPI. So from there, it will raise an incident and try to pull the on-call person, whoever is available. Then he will take his help and try to resolve the issue. And this on-call person will go ahead and create a war room, and there from the different apps team will come together and try to resolve that. And this is about the open telemetry. So as I said that from the observability standpoint, if you wanted to ingest metrics, logs, and traces from the endpoint of view, it will just go ahead and get those details. And suppose if I wanted to select any one application, right? Okay, so this is my fashion. So this is like the overall view of an application. So the left side you can see that this is a left panel. you have like an application dashboard, and what are the business transactions. So business transaction is nothing but it is a sort of activity which performed over a period of time to achieve his request. Okay, so suppose if I take business transaction of payments. Okay, so what he will do, the customer will log in the page, he will go to the transfers at the payments page. So then he will try to pull off if it is a utility payments, or if it is a credit card payments, or if it is a personal loan payment, or if it's a gold loan payment. So whatever the different requests he wanted to perform, he will go there, he will select the details and submit that one. So in order to measure that sort of performance, so you will get details which will be displayed onto the app dynamics under the business transaction. So then coming to the service endpoints, okay, so these are the service endpoints which are like a third party services, or maybe if you wanted to also it will provide you like certain, suppose if there are like logs or errors exposing from particular endpoint, right? So if you wanted to configure that one, yes, that is also available. And the entire your application, right, it is split into tiers and nodes. When I say tiers and nodes is nothing but the node is nothing but it is the application is performing certain sort of functionality, or the node is nothing but a server, and the tiers is nothing but the nodes are grouped together based on the functionality. Suppose if I'm having like a payments, schedule transfer, and account details, so those are the three different account different functionalities I'm having it. So what app dynamics is that based on the functionality, it will segregate them into three different tiers, three different tiers and the nodes. So then by seeing the tier, we can understand that okay, so this particular tier is performing this functionality. This my card is showing from particular functionality. All those details which you will get, and this is the servers which is there. And coming back to application dashboard, so this is the one which I was talking about, the application flow map. Let me, why it is not working, my fashion. Okay, I think there is some problem is there, but it will plot a graph in that one, where it will topological view, where it will get all those details inside. I'll just see if it is coming up this. No. And here also you'll have a quick glance of like what is the load and what is the perform number. Load is nothing but in terms of the throughput, how many requests have been processed over a period of time, and with that, what are the error rate and all those details. Okay. So this is like the overall app dynamics having like multiple views and the capabilities and the features which it serves from the full stack observability to achieve three pillars of app dynamics: the visibility, insights, and the actions. So that's all about today. Uh, and Yeah.